Now we will have Gatha, Golden Chain of Love, on page 46 in the Little Book, followed by the Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the Little Book, or page 15 in the Big Book under Golden Chain 1. The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Now we'll have a Dharma lesson by Minister's Assistant, Mrs. Tanabe.
Good morning. Welcome, Dharma School students, parents, teachers, and friends. Please join me in Kansho. From the Buddha. As one little candle lights another to the light of Buddha's compassion will pass from one mind to another endlessly. Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Today, I would like to continue paying tribute to ministers who have served as Betsuin. And this morning it is Reverend Hiroshi Abiko. Reverend Abiko began his BCA ministry here at the Betsuin in 1971. How many of you remember Reverend Abiko? Great. To me, he was young, loud, outgoing, funny, with a big laugh and a mischievous attitude. He taught me to chant, not with my mouth, but with my stomach. He would say, sit straight, and chant loud with your stomach. He loved to sing, and I was lucky. I sang along him in the Betsuin choir. He was a tenor and a very good one. One memorable time is when Mrs. Hojo arranged for us to go on the Northwest Shore. We toured and presented our singing concert. But just the day before, I was going to take my 3 children to do grocery shopping because I knew I was going to be gone for a couple of weeks. Just as I was returning and turned left onto my street, I heard something go thud. I thought, oh no, I must have hit a dog or something. But it was not an animal, it was a child. And I was so upset. I ran to my neighbor who lived just right across the street, who was a Kaiser emergency nurse. And she came with me. I said, Cheryl, you gotta help me. There's a child that I hit. But when we came back to my car, there was no child there. I thought, what happened to that kid? Charlene said maybe the grandmother picked him up and took him to her house. So we went, knocked on the door, and the grandmother was not mad at me. She was angry with her grandson because apparently he had been running back and forth on that street all day long. And she told him that, it's not a busy street. She said, cars do come by. You have to be careful. Do not cross and run around on that street. But unfortunately, I happened to be the driver to come along at that time. Although the grandmother was not upset with me, it did not make me feel better. And so I decided to take my kids home, explain to them, calm them down. And that night I called Mrs. Hojo. I said, Mrs. Hojo, I just hit a child. I'm gonna have to cancel our tour. She said, oh no. And she couldn't convince me. So she put her husband, Reverend Hojo, on the telephone. And he told me that what's done is done. There's nothing I can't do now. It's too late. And he said that he himself had hit a child. And unfortunately, that child died. And so he finally convinced me to not cancel the tour, but to continue on. So I called the grandmother and asked how the child was. And she said, it's a minor cut. He has some stitches on his forehead. He should be fine. So I told her that I was going on this trip, but throughout the trip, we didn't have cell phone in those days, but somehow I was trying to communicate with her to see how her grandson was doing. When we approached the Canadian border, we were stopped. All of us had our passports and our driver's license, but the authorities there, for some reason, thought that we were Japanese tourists, even though our bus said San Jose, California. So we explained to them that we were on a singing tour and we were heading towards Vancouver, Canada. They still didn't believe us. They told us to get off the bus, and we went into a holding room, which was a large room, and there was a big glass window. Reverend Abiko pressed his nose to the glass window and said, help, help. That was Reverend Abiko. He could make something serious into something light. And he made us all laugh and ease our tension. And we said, well, we can prove that we're on a singing tour. We took a program to show our itinerary and our songs that we were going to sing on each temple stop. But they didn't believe us because, unfortunately, the cover was donated by a Japanese bank. But finally, they said, okay, we can go. We got up on the bus and headed towards Vancouver. Somewhere between Vancouver and Portland, I lost my voice due to the tension and stress I was under, worrying about that child, and the fact that I didn't sleep for 3 nights. Mrs. Hojo starts saying, drink a lot of tea with lemon and honey, and don't talk. For those of you who know me, you know I'm known for talking. So it was hard, but I did what she told me to do. But I couldn't sing. I didn't have my voice. And so Reverend Abiko, thankfully, was able to take my solo parts, and he did it willingly and at the last minute. There are so many memorable experiences with Reverend Abiko and the choir. I didn't know that he was dating Messiah because she was a student at San Jose State and did not have a car, so Toshi Tanaka and I would take turns picking her up and taking her back home. It was going under our noses, and we didn't know that. The little rascal, he never told us. And Messiah kept this secret. They were married in 1974. Reverend Biko was born in Los Angeles as a second son. His father was a Jodo Shinshu minister. As all of you know, all Japanese Americans, Issei and Nisseis, were forced into internment camps during the war. Reverend Abiko's father, along with other Buddhist ministers and community leaders, were taken to New Mexico. Mrs. Abiko and her 2 sons were sent to Jerome, Arkansas, my first camp. The family was reunited in Tule Lake. After being released, the family moved back to Japan. While in Japan, Reverend Abiko began his love of taiko, drums. The Abiko family returned to California, and the father was assigned to Alameda Buddhist Church. Hidoshi attended Sacramento State and graduated with a major in philosophy. He later went to Japan and received his Tokudo Kyoshi Kai Kyoshi. Back home in California, his first assignment was here at the Betsuin. I thought Reverend Abiko was lucky because he was being tutored by 2 veteran ministers, Reverend Hojo and Reverend Tokunaga. The Dharma school students adored Reverend Abiko because he was fun and he made learning fun. His love of taiko was so great that he, along with 2 others, founded the San Jose Taiko group. And as you know, it became famous as a taiko and even went to Carnegie Hall. After years with us, we thought it was about time he went out to have his own temple. So he was assigned to Palo Alto. He was a Buddhist chaplain with the VA hospital. Next, he went to the Buddhist Church of San Francisco and was assigned to LA Betsuin. He retired to Sebastopol. I found an article written by Reverend Abiko among my many papers on sermons and Dharma talks. I would like to read some of what he had written. Jodo Shinshu, simplified by Reverend Hiroshi Abiko. Jodo Shinshu Buddhism is an experience, not a belief. We think that the universe originate, develop, change, and perish through operation of natural and inherent causes, and that this series of cycle has neither beginning or end. We affirm that enlightenment is the awareness of infinite light of wisdom and compassion that shines on all people. We are deeply aware that our hearts are dark with ignorance and passion. Even our good acts are tainted with the poison of selflessness, and that by ourselves we are incapable of a true compassion and goodness. We recite Namo Amida Butsu in gratitude for Amida Buddhist principle of vow. Reverend unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer. He passed away on October 6, 2022, last year. Bishop Harada selected the Ingo of power of the Dharma. He was always guided by the Dharma. Even today, I can visualize Reverend Abiko's infectious laughter and energy. Perhaps you too have memories of Reverend Abiko. Please share them with family and friends. Please join me in Gassho. From the Buddha. Just as rain falls on all vegetation, so Buddha's compassion extends equally to all people. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much for your kindness and listening.
Thank you, Mrs. Tanabe. Now we will have Gatha farewell on page 45, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the little book, or page 15 in the big book. The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way of freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble path every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Mr. Jones, Mr. Akizuki, Mrs. Tanabe, and to musician Mr. Yoshihara. Are there any announcements?
Hi, I'm Shinji.
And I'm Kyo.
We are from Pack 611. Cub Scout Pack 611 is selling beautiful holiday decorative wreaths and decorations. Your purchase will help support Pack 611 and our scouting experience.
This year we are offering 2 options. First, we have local delivery of a wreath or centerpiece that will be delivered approximately a few days before Thanksgiving. We also have direct delivery of a large selection of items that can be sent directly to you or as a gift to a special someone on your list.
The deadline for all orders will be Monday, October 30th, and can be purchased from any Cub Scout, including those selling wreaths outside the Hondo today. Thank you very much for your support of Pack 611.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Halloween. I don't see very many costumes, though. I forgot to tell my kids. Anyway, I'm here again for today. Today is our soul line dancing class, so come and join us. It is at 11:30 till 1 o'clock. You'll learn some new steps maybe, or renew what you didn't remember. Steps, but it'll be fun. It's a lot of fun. It's good exercise, and it's not that hard, okay? So come join us. The other thing, I think Phyllis is going to talk about one fundraiser, but I'm going to be doing another fundraiser, is the art party, okay? It's this next Saturday, August 4th, at 1 o'clock is when we will join, and come and join us. Oh, did I say, what did I say? November 4th, okay. And so it's next Saturday, and and today is the last day to sign up for it. So there is a flyer out in the back of the Hondo that you can fill out and submit to the office. And with the art party, you get to have a canvas and an art instructor and paints, and they'll tell you how to draw a really pretty scenery. We're picking it out, so it's going to be a nice one. So if you're available, come join us. We really would like a lot more people to come. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, thanks.
First of all, I'd like to thank so many of you that came out yesterday to the Nikkei Matsuri Artisans Fair next door and for supporting the BWA booth. We really appreciate it, so thank you very much for that. I do have one other announcement, and that's the FBWA Conference fundraiser for 2024. And that's going to be this coming Friday, November 3rd, and you could order from your local Panda Express. Be sure you give them the secret code, which is 915563. There are flyers in the back you can pick up in case you need to keep it for reference for this coming Friday, okay? Thank you very much.
Before everyone leaves, oh my God. Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or you are welcome to stop by the Open Door Cafe tent outside in the front of the garden. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Morning. Thank you. Bye, Vic. Me? We are not high on a Buddhist. Can we become enlightened? Oh, okay.
I should have given it to you earlier.
Do you want me to answer now or?
Oh, no, this is for when you are doing the service.
For the next no service. Okay.
And I can, you can have it, or I can email it to you. Is that easier, or do you want to just hold this?
I'll keep it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I knew there's more.
Hi, morning.
Hi, my name is Reese.
Reese.
I'm in 6th grade, and my teachers are Mrs. Bussey and Mrs. Kaneda.
Okay. Reese. Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Kawamoto. I'll be chairing the service this morning. Are there any visitors or new guests that are here this morning? And if you're comfortable to introduce yourself, please do so. Okay, let's see. All right, we'll begin this morning's service with Sambujo on page 24 in the large service book, followed by sutra chanting Sanbutsuge on page 22 in the small Dharma School service book, and page 79 in the large service book. Please rise for Gatha Shinransama on page 86 in the small Dharma School service book, or page 240 in the large service book. And please remain standing for the three treasures on page 3 of the small Dharma School service book.
For remain standing. So we're going to read the three treasures, which is located on the smaller sutra book on page 3. Three treasures. Okay. How is it to be born into human life? Now we live in it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the first one. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your enlightenment and awaken ourselves the spring will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of doctrine and gaze wisdom a deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in a true accord in your life-heart harmony, in your spirit of universal oneness, free from non-detachable selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, how hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine? Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of Tathagata's teaching. Please join me in Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namandab, namandab. Please be seated. Thank you.
Now we'll have Reverend Mikame give this morning's Dharma talk.
Okay, please join me in Kansho. I'd like to share the hymn of the Dharma Ages written by Shinransama, who is our founder of this Jodo Shinshu tradition. Please join me in Kansho. It is a great torch in the long night of ignorance. Do not sorrow that your eyes of wisdom are dark. It is a ship on the vast ocean of birth and death. Do not grieve that your obstruction of karmic evil are heavy. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you, everybody. Last weekend, Michael did a wonderful job. Thank you very much. He did conducted service, everything by himself. So I'm so impressed at him. Thank you very much. It must have been a really kind of challenge, big challenge for him, but he did a great job. So it must have been a wonderful experience for him because he's been kind of practicing for the preparation of for the Tokudo ordination session coming up this December. So I think it must be a great opportunity for him. Thank you very much. So first of all, let me share the words of a Chinese priest named Tanruan, who was respected by Shinransama. He is actually depicted as one of the 7 masters on the scroll at the left end of the Naijin area. Yeah, there are 7 masters scroll. There is a master. There is a scroll depicted 7 masters in a tradition, in a Jodoshin tradition. And Tanruan later wrote his commentary on Vasubandhu's treatise on Pure Land, on the Pure Land. The commentary taught that all beings could be born in the Pure Land of the Amida Buddha through sincere recitation of Buddha's name. And in one sentence in his commentary, Tanruan tells us the following about the world in which we live. Fortune and misfortune are interrelated. Do you agree with it? Yeah, I think it maybe Michael's case. Maybe last weekend it must be a big kind of misfortune, but at the same time, yeah, it was a really good kind of. It turned out really good learning experience, right? So I totally agree this kind of line. Fortune and misfortune are interrelated. In other words, even events that we consider bad can contain happiness and joy. On the other hand, there are also disasters lying hidden in what we consider to be happy events. This is also actually a proverb by Lao Tzu in China. What you think is a good thing can turn out to be a bad thing. Sometimes what you think is bad luck can turn out to be good for you. And you never know which way things are going to turn out because nothing stays the same. There's a Chinese proverb that has a similar message. Here's a story based upon this proverb. A long time ago, a poor Chinese farmer lost a horse. And the old neighbors came around and said, "Oh, well, that's too bad." The farmer said, "Maybe." And shortly after, the horse returned, bringing another horse with him. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Well, that's good fortune." To which the farmer replied, "Maybe." The next day, the farmer's son was trying to tame the new horse and fell, breaking his leg, and all the neighbors came around and said, "Well, that's too bad." And the farmer replied, "Maybe." And shortly after, Emperor declared war on the neighboring nation and ordered all able-bodied men to came fight. Many died or were badly maimed. But farmer's son was unable to fight and was spared due to his injury. And all the neighbors came around and said, "Well, that's good fortune." To which the farmer replied, "Maybe." That's how the story goes. In China, when something bad happened, people will say, I'll try. "Sai wen shima." Am I right? Gilbert? I don't know. Sai wen shima. I don't know. Am I right? Okay, thank you. Remember, old man who lost his horse to remind themselves and others that sometimes bad things happen which carry the silver lining. And it's often in the way you look at things which determines their power over your spirit. As the proverb, the old man lost his horse shows us a seemingly happy event may be the beginning of the misfortune, and a seemingly unhappy event may be the beginning of the happiness. We never know. So I think this coaches us not to get too attached to what happens to us, good or bad. So I thought the proverb of the old man who lost his horse has a similar message that Tanlan's words on this commentary. However, the words in the Tanlan's commentary, fortune and misfortunes are interrelated, teaches us that there is no need to be so negative because there may be good hidden in the bad. What is considered happy in this world may soon turn around, and what is considered unhappy may soon turn around as well, and nothing will remain the same. Good things turn into bad things turn into good things, and we were swept up in these things. And in fact, there is no peace of mind anywhere in this world. So Tanran tells us that we live in the world where nothing is certain to be all right at any time. So today we chanted the Sanbutsuge. So please try to open the Sanbutsuge if you have a sutra book. So Sanbutsuge shows us what the Buddha's vow are like as follows. So please open the page 83. There's a line say, "Isai kuku isa dayan." Maybe that 83, page 83 on this big sutra book. It means that, and to all fear-ridden beings shall I give great peace. Right? Or maybe I will become a Buddha and completely fulfill in my vow. I will bring peace to all who are in doubt or fear in this book, maybe sutra book. So it means Dharmakara, who was the former body of Amida Buddha, wanted to give peace, great peace, to those who are living in fear and anxiety about their own life and death. Therefore, when Amida Buddha was a Dharmakara Bodhisattva, he promised to establish for us the perfect Pure Land, a world of peace and tranquility that would ensure true and unchanging peace of mind. And if he couldn't do so, he could not do so, he would not become a Buddha. There's another kind of line in Jusege, Gashi Jobutsudo. Let's Gashi Jobutsudo. Try to find it. Gashi Jobutsudo. Where is that? Oh, 94. The first line of the 94, Gashi Jobutsudo. So we chant the Jusege not just because it's short, right? There's an important message included in this sutra. So, okay? So Gashi Jobutsudo, upon my attain enlightenment, Gashi Jobutsudo, Myosho Chojippo, right? So translation, upon my attaining enlightenment, if my name were not heard anywhere. Yeah, so this is the word. So meaning, Dharmakara would reach all beings in the 10 quarters world to tell us that Dharmakara's, the primal vow is accomplished. And how? It is saying the name of Namo Amida Butsu, which we which will reach the 10 directions of the world in the form of our own voice. And the fact that he has become Amida Buddha now means Amida's vows have been accomplished as he promised. When we speak of the world in Buddhism, we are not talking about one big world, this world where we reside, but it is about each of our own hearts and minds. Even when we see the same things, we feel them differently. It is because we are living in separate sensibilities in the world in our mind. So this line, Gashi Jobutsudo, Myosho Chojippo, indicates that Amida Buddha is able to reach each of our lives, different worlds of our minds, with Namo Amida Butsu, which is the name of Buddha that we are reciting at the services. It is a great proof that Dharmakara's deep wishes are fully fulfilled as Dharmakara desired. I think it is us who are putting that conditions upon ourselves, even though Amida doesn't put any condition on us. In Jodo Shinshu, it is very essential to hear and appreciate not about how we should change, but about how Buddha has changed to liberate us. So, as Tanran teaches us, there is no constant, unchangeable, true joy in this world. In the world where we cannot rest assured that things will change for the better or for the worse in the heartbeat, Amida Buddha is constantly calling out to us. Entrust yourself to Amida. I will never fail to bring about your liberation, without ever changing. This is Namo Amida Butsu. And as we hear how Buddha's vows arose, its origin or fulfillment, and receive the hearts of Buddha, and an infinite and eternal light will be lit up in our heart. The meaning of Namo Amida Butsu that we're reciting is, Namu means I entrust to somebody. And Amida Buddha means the Buddha of infinite and perfect enlightenment. So in reciting Namo Amida Butsu in our own voice, we're saying that I leave myself to Amida Buddha. It seems that I'm kind of saying Namo Amida Butsu on my own, but this is actually started from a calling from Buddha's side. It started with Amida first, just like when we said Namo Amida Butsu with a call and response during our service. Amida saw our suffering and distress and wanted to do something about it. So interpreting Namo Amida Butsu from the Buddha's perspective. Namo, leave it to me. From the Amida side, right? Leave it to me. Amida Butsu means I have definitely become the Buddha to liberate you. So we can understand that it is a command from Amida to leave ourselves to Amida and to let Amida guide our life. This is the name of Buddha, which is a manifestation of Amida's confidence as the Buddha with perfect enlightenment to guide us. This deepest wish for us is now reaching to us in its resonance of Namo Amida Butsu. When we hear this, the only one thing we do is simply respond to Amida's intent and say, I will leave it to you by Namo Amida Butsu with gratitude. Frankly, nothing in your life is going to change dramatically if you entrust yourself to Amida. What does entrust or rely on mean? According to the dictionary, it means depend on with full trust or confidence. In other words, it means to put aside one's own way of thinking and rely on the other person's sense of values. I often find myself at the restaurant for the first time and not knowing what to order. What do you do in such a situation? I think it's kind of possible to order just what you want, but why don't you ask for the restaurant staff or chef's recommendations? It's better to leave it to the recommendation of a person who knows the restaurant's menu much better than you do when you come to the restaurant for the first time. Japanese restaurants have the system called omakase. Have you heard of it? Omakase. I believe that their various Japanese words are becoming accepted as they are in Japanese, and omakase is one of them. The phrase omakase, literally, I leave it up to you, is most commonly used when dining at Japanese restaurants, where the customer leaves it up to the chef to select and serve seasonal specialties. Now, of course, you can order whatever you like, but if you leave it up to chef's own choice, recommendations, you will be served the most delicious dish at the time. So it is a good idea to remember the Japanese phrase omakase, or leave it up to you. Omakase. Omakase. Okay, good pronunciation. Okay, yeah. So yeah, when you go to a Japanese restaurant, so please try to say omakase. Yeah. So omakase is a manifestation of the chef's confidence that his or her or their cuisine would never disappoint you. So the term omakase is also often used in Buddhism in Japanese too. Actually, we can paraphrase Namo with omakase. It is a manifestation of Amida's confidence that Amida will never let you live an empty life. In Buddha's perspective, omakase, or leave it up to you, from our side, means to listen to the teachings of Buddha and to rely on Amida's guidance in our lives. You will gradually shift from the self-centered values that you have been relying on until now to the Buddha's enlightened gaze. Then the way you perceive things that happen in this world will be different from what it was before. So when you join your hands in front of Amida Buddha, I want you to savor this as you recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. We are comforted by Amida's compassion, saying, no matter what happens in your life, I will never leave you alone. So, omakase, leave it to me. And we just simply respond to the heart with Namo Amida Butsu, with gratitude, saying, I'll leave it up to you. So there's a line in Jusege, Jō Dai Shuchu. Jō Dai Shuchu. Where is it? Jō Dai Shuchu. Jō Dai Shuchu. Where is that? Thank you. 96. Yeah. 96? Jō Dai. ごめん。ごめん。Where? No. ジョー大集中。 96. Sorry, thank you. Okay. All right. So Jō Daishu Ju, it means among the multitudes of beings. Through these words, Buddha tells us that attainment of all beings is not just one moment in time, but the Buddha is always working on all lives, embracing all the lives all the time. So this is a kind of important my favorite line. Yeah. So here's a excerpt from an essay written by Jodo Shinshu minister in Japan named Reverend Tatsuo. He mentioned in this essay like this, as follows. During the services, I always talked to Amida Buddha in my heart while looking at Amida's face. Before I became a minister, I looked at the old leaning main hall and said, I promise to let you live in a magnificent altar. I'll do my best, so please wait for me until then. When I say this, Amida said, don't worry, I will be with you. I appreciate that, but more than that, I wanted Amida to encourage me so that I would build the magnificent main hall and become a full-fledged Buddhist minister. When I became a head resident minister and had the celebration ceremony for the newly rebuilt main hall, I asked Amida again, how do you feel about living in the splendidly completed main hall? Amida only said as usual, don't worry, I'll be with you. Then after I was diagnosed with cancer, I visited the main hall for the first time in a long time between treatments. I spoke to Amida again during the service. I have cancer. When I told Amida of my pitiful and inconsolable feelings, Amida said to me again as usual, don't worry, I'll be with you. I realized that Amida has always been wishing only for my peace. On the other hand, I was so absorbed in my own wishes that I forgot that Amida was concerned about me. But whether I realize it or not, Amida has continued to embrace me with the same great compassion without rest or weariness. There's a saying that one day, when our path is exhausted, the Pure Land will open up there. That is exactly where the great Pure Land is already spreading when our self-centeredness and self-drive are exhausted. Amida's great wish for us is to allow us to reflect upon my true self and at the same time to assure us that Amida accepts us as a life to become a great Buddha. This is how it is written. So no matter what time of the year, even when I'm in the good health or doing well at work, Amida says to me in the same way, don't worry, I'll be with you. So leave it to me with a great peace of mind. Even when we are hurt or ill, Namo Amida Butsu, Amida Buddha continues to call to us and embrace us as we are. In the world of ever-changing joys and sorrows, the fact that we are able to encounter and hear Namo Amida Butsu, which never changes and never stops calling to us, Amida has already lit the flame in our hearts that will never go out. Okay, so this concludes my talk. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Please join me in Kansho. Place your hands together at your heart center. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mikame Sensei. Please rise for Gatha Ondokusan II on page 76 of the small Dharma school book.
76. Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Please be seated. Thank you.
This is announcements. If there are any announcements, please come forward.
First of all, I'd like to thank everyone who came out for the Nikkei Matsuri Artisan Fair yesterday. BWA was so happy to be part of this event, and we appreciate all the support and response that we received at our booth yesterday, so thank you very, very much. The next thing is there's an FBWA conference, the 2024 conference fundraiser, this Friday, okay? So if you're in the mood for Panda Express, please go ahead and order your Panda Express order. There are flyers on the back table, but the code that you will need so that we'll get credit for this is 915563. So we appreciate the support on that. Also today, BWA has a soul line dancing going on next door, I believe at 11:30. And then also there's a paint party that BWA is having a fundraiser for. The event is November 4th. The cost is $40, but the deadline to sign up for it is the 29th, which I think is today. So if you're interested in that, I believe there are flyers in the back of the room. Thank you.
Thank you to Rinban Sakamoto, Reverend Mikame, Dennis Akizuki, Michael Jones, Sumi Tanabe, and organist Michael Yoshihara, and also Steve Onishi for our tech services back there. Thank you. We'll now have closing gassho. Please come forward after for incense offering.
Please join me in Kansho once again. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida
Namo Amida
Butsu.
Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. Thank you.
Really?